What a difference a year makes. Last year around this time, the stories were just beginning to trickle out. There was no sign yet that the trickle would become a tsunami. That this wasn't just a PR news cycle that needed to die down. And frankly, as a woman in business, I just assumed sexual harassment was part of the deal. So when #MeToo erupted this fall, I thought to myself, #who hasn't? Yet despite bad behavior across many industries, I'm incredibly optimistic. This is a moment that has become a movement. I've been inspired by women of all ages in tech, in government, in Hollywood, in restaurant kitchens, who have stepped forward to say, time's up. And thank goodness time's up, because this has been in the making for a very long time. And one of the reasons that this feels different is that men, good men, are also a part of this journey. And so what happens next? Well, it starts simply. More women. More women starting companies and getting funded. More women in government and getting elected. More women in executive positions in Silicon Valley. And frankly, it's tiring because there's always excuses. Adam's right. Last year at this conference, I stood up and called bullshit on the notion that the reason women weren't getting ahead was because women weren't supportive of each other. As we all know, sexual harassment is significantly more prevalent in industries where women are vastly underrepresented. It's not about sex. It's, as Sheryl Sandberg says, it's about the power, stupid. And so, as we look, there are many reasons why women aren't getting ahead. And frankly, I like to say that it's not a women's issue. It's actually not a man's issue either. It's a leadership issue. Our job as leaders is to climb mountains, to make it happen, to step over hurdles. I'm so tired of hearing CEO after CEO saying, just no good women left. Oh, all the great women, they've been hired. Or my personal favorite, it's a pipeline issue. These excuses add up to a glass ceiling that's still firmly in place. Only 11% of executive jobs in Silicon Valley are held by women. Just 2% of VC dollars go to women founders. 75% of the largest IPOs had either no women or just one token woman on the board. And just in the last few months, we saw a 25% decline in the number of Fortune 500 CEOs. These aren't good stats for women or for men. Why? Because the evidence is clear. Leave women out at your peril. Not having women means lower profits, less productivity, and reduced innovation. These aren't good stats. It is about the money. It's not just good for women, it's good for the bottom line. McKinsey attempted to analyze this. They said, if women could work the same jobs, could work the same number of hours, and got paid the same wage, the world would be $28.4 trillion richer. To put that number in context, that is the combined GDP of the United States, Germany, and Japan. It is a very big prize. It's not just good for women, it's good for the bottom line. Men would be richer too if women reached parity. So here's my call to action. First of all, as leaders, you need to stand up and say that this is important. The first quarter we did this. We changed certainly some tactical recruiting things, but we went from a very pathetic 14% of our engineering hires as women to 50%, half. Even this own conference has gone from a lower percentage of women on the main stage to this year, almost 50% of the women on this the people on this stage were women. And that is because of leadership and intention. And we need to hold ourselves accountable. I get it. It's hard not to feel a little depressed when all the diversity stats in tech come out. The FANG companies alone have 800,000 people in their workforce. I get it. It's hard to change those numbers overnight. But they also hired about 50,000 people last quarter. And so here's what I want you to do. Much like each quarter, you report on your revenue, your profit, your growth. You need to add a metric. Tell us how you did in creating a more diverse and inclusive workforce last quarter. If your company hired 100 people, what % were women? What % were people of color? Your business depends on it. Our future depends on it. And so at some point, you're just not going to want to be on the wrong side of this journey. At some point, it's not okay to stand by and do nothing. No more excuses. With the help of everyone in this room, women and men, it's not that you can change the rules of the game. You must change the rules of the game. And the prize is worth it. Thank you.